Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging podcast discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Caccera, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Caccera.
Welcome in, it's Joe Caccera with Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series. As we continue through the week, we are going to be diving into the Dirty Secrets of Real Estate Part 2. This will be an ongoing series. Anticipated it will probably last a couple months because there's a lot of information that I've gathered over the last 7 years in doing the 7 years, I should say, radio show and now podcasting, continuing that trend. It's amazing how much information, data I get back from consumers, from industry experts, from people who work in this industry. So what I thought I'd do would really compile all that information and over bits and pieces a period of time, because there's a lot of it, share with you, the consumer, really what's going on behind the scenes in the real estate industry. And some of the secrets, some of the things that you don't know about, you don't hear about, and some of the changes that are going to be taking place. And really the objective is always the same for me, and that is total transparency and giving the consumers all the information they can at their fingertips so that they make wise decisions in and around their real estate. And there's no difference in doing this. So I'll be talking about Part 2 today. Before we jump into that, just a reminder, if I could help you in the way of financing a purchase, refinance, maybe you need to consolidate a first and second, maybe you just need some advice on whether you could qualify or not, I could help you in those areas. Also, please remember, we have a team of experts here, people that I trust that would take very good care of you, and there's a lot of value in working with a group of people that have your best interests at hand, and we'll talk a little bit about why that's not the case in many situations in the real estate industry. You can reach me a couple different ways. One is either text or call 408-838-9060. Again, 408-838-9060. You could either call or text. You could always go to reradiolive.com, or you could email joe@reradiolive.com. All right, Part 2, The Dirty Secrets of Real Estate. We're going to jump in, and last week we kicked off the series. Number 1, it went really well. Got a lot of great response, so I'll continue to really educate people on this process. So the one thing that I want to talk about today, I'm going to cover a couple things today, but just in summary, the question I'm going to throw out and hopefully get resonating and get you thinking, the consumer, is, who do you trust in real estate and who do you trust in lending? So part of our process in working with real estate agents, who do you trust and how do you know? Now, some of you might be listening to this and say, well, I've had the same real estate agent for 20 years or 10 years and I love him or love her, and that's great. But let's dig a little bit deeper. It doesn't mean that they're not good real estate agents. It doesn't mean that they're not educated. It doesn't mean that they're not ethical at all. What I'm going to suggest is, who do you trust in guiding you through the transaction and has your best interest at hand? Again, someone will say, Joe, I'm good. I got a real estate agent that has helped me for years. They're trustworthy, they're honest, they're ethical. And I would answer to you, that's great, but what else do they do for you? And you might look at me and say, well, I don't understand what you mean. So that's what I want to talk about today. Who do you trust in real estate to really dig deep and get you all the value you deserve in a real estate transaction? In these series, I'm going to continue to challenge your way of thinking. I'm going to continue to really, hopefully, educate you in a way where you understand that you, the consumer, deserve more value in your real estate transaction. So, when I say, who do you trust in real estate, it's vague, it sounds vague, and you might say, well, yeah, trustworthy, great people, but what do they do for you? Let's break it down. What do they do for you? And I'm going to do the same thing on lending here in this segment and talking about that too. What are the expectations of a real estate agent? Someone might say, they find me the house that I want, Or if they're listing, they list the house, they get the optimum dollars, they do marketing, they do a great job, they negotiate, and all that's great. But what else do they do for you? When you're sitting down having a conversation, and maybe the expectations, that could be the thing, and I want to challenge your way of thinking. Again, what are the expectations of the real estate agent? I would suggest it's very singular and it's very narrow. And what I mean by that is they stay very focused on the real estate transaction themselves, even though this is a very, very expensive transaction. If someone is listing your house and you meet with them and you interview them and they give you their quote, and again, you have $1 million house for sake of this conversation of this, and they say, great news, I could do all this, and it's going to cost you $60,000. We're going to charge 6% to list your house. We're going to take 3% on the list side, and then we have to pay out 3% to those that bring a buyer. So it costs you, the seller, 6%. The question I'd like for you to ask and start thinking about, why do you pay the full 6%? Why do you pay the full 6%? Now, when you ask a real estate agent or someone in the industry, they'll tell you, well, that's always the way it is. It's easier that way. That's the way it is. Well, why? This is the way we're going to challenge thinking. We're going to challenge everybody's thinking. And it's good because this is how we get more educated. This is how we dig deeper. This is how we learn more. This is how we save more money. This is how we become more wise consumers. Why does the seller have to pay the full 6%? Or let's even say 5%. It doesn't really matter in this case. My point is, why isn't there then some cost on the buy side or maybe something on the buy side that comes into play? Well, someone would answer, well, Joe, it's always been that way, and here's the reason. The reason why is there's a real tangible product in the house that someone's selling, and someone that's buying a house doesn't have a tangible product. What they're doing is they're seeking out a purchase. So really, how do you charge the person that's seeking out the purchase? So that's a good question. Maybe there's some ways to charge. Maybe there's some ways to offset. I would suggest why you, the homeowner, that have spent time in your home and put investment dollars in your home and gained equity in your home. This is your home. This is your equity. You're going to hear this statement a lot. It's your money. How do you want to spend it? I started the series off last week, and I'm going to continue to talk about that. You'll hear that statement. You'll hear that tagline a lot. It's your money. How do you want to spend it? So challenge the thinking of 6%. Why are you paying 6%? I would suggest that you don't have to, and it's not a matter of, well, I have to, or why shouldn't I, or you're going to get less of an agent, or anything like that. The question is, what is the real value in that transaction? I would suggest you start thinking about that. What I'm putting together is a group of people and a system and a program that is going to help you, the consumer, identify the entire real estate transaction, and we're going to help you not only save money on every piece of a real estate transaction, but we're going to give you more value than you ever asked for. That's right, more value than you ever asked for because you deserve it. Again, it's your money. How do you want to spend it? What I'm suggesting is put your hand up, stop, think before you sell. You get ready to list your home. Give me a call, check in. Let me explain to you some of the things that our team could do to save you money on the real estate piece. We're going to talk about lending in just a minute. We're going to touch on real estate right now. Not only save you money, but find the right real estate agent for you. Wouldn't you like someone to be able to speak to one person that would coordinate and consolidate all the pieces of a real estate transaction to make it easier for you? Wouldn't that be nice if you can imagine a one-stop shop? If you could talk to one person, and that one person would take the necessary information that you're seeking. I want to sell my house. This is the value. I'm going to go buy a house over in this area. These are my needs. We take that information, if you can imagine this, and then we come back to you. We do the due diligence. We come back to you with the results of the right people that we think you should work with and how much money we could save you, how much time we could do it in, and how much additional value services we're going to offer to you for doing business with us. How does that sound? How does this proposition sound? I would suggest that if you're getting ready to sell your house, give me a call. It's exciting. I want you to understand that there's a different world. There's a different business right now. There's a different there's a different use of technology and systems that are taking place that you, the consumer, should benefit from. There's a reason why Amazon is doing what they're doing. There's a reason why Amazon has purchased Whole Foods for distribution centers. There's a reason why all these things are taking place. I would suggest that you, the consumer, start thinking, why don't I get more value? Why don't I get to save more money? Why don't I have more of a say in my money in a real estate transaction? I'm going to flip that around for you now and in the future. Here's what's exciting. You're going to have an opportunity to work with a group of people that are not only going to be at the top level of service and commitment, but they're going to save you money, and we're going to add more value. You're going to get services and benefits as part of a transaction you never had before. You have never had before. Again, if you're listening to this podcast and you're getting ready to sell a house or you're getting ready to buy a house, give me a call. Check in 408-838-9060. You can go to the website, reradiolive.com. You could contact me. We could have a quick phone consultation. We could do something in person. I'm suggesting that the real estate transaction is outdated. Your best interests aren't there. They really aren't. They need to dig deeper. We need to dig deeper. How do we find you more value? How do we save you money in a transaction? How do we make that transaction more pleasant for you? How do we make it less frustrating for you? And at the end of the transaction, and part of why don't you get more valued services through it? Of all the money you spend, why don't you get more services? We're going to do that. We're going to have more value-added services for you in a real estate transaction than you can ever imagine. No one is doing this. The reason why is they're very individual and very microscopic in the way they think during a transaction. We're going to change that. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, continue talking about the dirty secrets of real estate, Part 2. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Again, I would encourage you to give me a call if you're getting ready to sell your home or buy a home. It doesn't matter where. Give me a call, 408-838-9060, or email joe@reradiolive.com. We'll be back with you to continue in just a minute.
For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com.
Hi, this is Joe Kuchera, host of Real Estate Radio Live and Bay Area Mortgage Planner. In addition to being your home financing expert, please remember you could always contact me for other trusted advisors such as realtors, financial planners, and CPAs. Please feel free to contact me at 408-838-9060. That's 408-838-9060, or email joe@reradiolive.com, or visit my website at reradiolive.com for more details.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's topic or guests, just visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series, as we continue today. And we are in the part 2 of the Dirty Secrets of Real Estate. This is part 2. Kicked it off last week with part 1. Super excited about this because over the next couple of months, I'm going to uncover all the different things that a lot of you may have not known about real estate. But more importantly, the objective here is not to spend a lot of time being negative at all. I'm going to spend a lot of time educating, bringing up, telling you what it's really like, what really happens out there, and why you need to change the way you think when you're in a real estate transaction. Why you need to change the way you think in a real estate transaction. It's been the same process for decades. It really has. So we're going to change the way we hope. We're going to change the way, we're going to challenge the way you think in a real estate transaction. The first segment, I was talking about who do you really trust when you go to list your home or buy a home in a real estate side. And I shared some of those reasons, some of the things you really need to think about. All right, this segment I'm going to talk about who do you trust in the lending side. Who do you trust when you're financing a purchase? Now, most people, when they sell their home, they typically take that equity and buy another home. Not always, but most of the time. And then some people, of course, are not selling a home. They're just out seeking to buy a home for the first time, or maybe they haven't bought a home for a while, and now they're out for the market to buy again. So I'm going to talk now about who do you trust on the lending side and what that's really like. Similar to the real estate side, lending, again, has to change. It will change. It's starting to change somewhat. But you really need to find someone that is going to do the best for you, not only in rates and fees, but at market value, but be able to close on time, serve the needs, and what else are they going to do for you on the side of lending? Now, the thing that most people don't understand is the internet, information age, e-commerce, all that stuff has really offered a lot of great information for people to access online. A lot of people will go to Bankrate, they'll go to different lending sites, they'll go to the Lending Tree. There's a number of different things that promise to get you the best rate and compare and contrast. Here is the problem that I'm going to uncover a little bit and let you know one of the secrets of lending that is extremely frustrating to the consumers that you don't know. When you go to these websites like Lending Tree or some of the other ones that say, enter some basic information, here's the exciting news, we're going to have everybody vie and shop for your business. Here's what most people don't know until it's too late. You go on these sites, you fill out some information, basic information. Let's just say it's your email, your name, and some basic information about what you're looking for. There's no personal information in the way of, Social Security numbers or addresses or jobs. It just basically it says, give me your full name, email address, and give me some parameters and to work with what you're trying to finance. 90% of these sites, ladies and gentlemen, when you fill out this basic information at Lending Tree or some of these others, here's what they do, what you don't know. And there might be some disclosures somewhere that you would never know unless you read the fine print. That now becomes a lead. That now becomes a lead that gets splattered out, in some cases, to thousands of different potential sources to finance, to help you finance. Can you imagine filling out some basic information and then delivering it to someone who you thought was going to keep your information safe and secure? And the next thing you know, and some of you out there listening to this know exactly what I'm talking about. I've done it before to test the system, even though I know what it's like. Every once in a while, I'll go to a site and I'll enter some basic information of my own in there. And in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes or even 24 hours, I might get anywhere from a dozen to 20 to 25 emails or calls of someone calling that wants to find out information how they could help me finance a purchase or my home. And you have to ask yourself, is that the best interest of you, the consumer? Do you really want that information all over the place? Who do you trust? My question when I started this, just as I did on the real estate, who do you trust in lending? How do you trust a system where you enter some information and the next thing you know, you get spammed by hundreds of different people and companies? What I'm explaining to you is don't trust these sites. Don't trust them. What I suggest you do is call someone like me or someone that you trust and let us find the best rate and be the most competitive they can and the best cost for you. Here's the reason. I will not shop your information. I will not shop your name, your email, your information. I will seek out the very best financing that matches what you're going to do, and I will match that up, and we will do the work. My team, I will do the work to come back to you and report on your options and your benefits for financing. These are the things that you really have to understand in this marketplace that a lot of people don't explain. There's a lot of talk about the exciting, the internet, the technology, and it's going to get rid of people and this and that. Well, in some cases it is, and I'm not suggesting that that's wonderful. Technology is really changing the world and how we do business and how we interact and how we really every phase of our lives. But in this case, who do you trust as a lender? I'm suggesting do not fill out information on any of these sites, what they do, ladies and gentlemen, is they sell that your information as a lead. Let me tell you how this works. Typically, you fill out this information. Someone is licking their chops behind the scenes, rubbing their hands together, going, great, I got one on the hook, and now this is a lead, and I'm going to sell it to 50 different lenders. It doesn't happen all the time, but this happens a lot. So you become a lead, you become a number. There's a cost to that. People are willing to pay money for a lead. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm suggesting you, the consumer, stay away from that. Now, let's just suggest some people will go, well, Joe, this is great. I provide my information, and I get 100 different lenders calling me. I'm not sure if you really like that or you like that concept. Now, I know most people like the concept of having people compete for your business. I would agree with that. But do you want 100 different people competing for your business that you don't know if they're ethical, if they're honest, what they're doing with your personal information? Do you really want that? I would suggest you be very careful. Don't give your information out to websites, even websites that say they won't share it. Be skeptical, because here's the problem. It's really tricky with their disclosures and wording. Some websites will say, we won't share your information with anyone other than our affiliated partners. That's a great one. Anyone other than our affiliated partners. You'll see that a lot. What's that mean? Let me tell you what that means. It's a slick marketing way to say that they will share that information if they could financially benefit from you. That's what that means. I'm educating you on this information because for the first time in years, what I'm going to do over the next several months is uncover all this information. I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to start hopefully a new trend in that you, the consumer, are going to get all the information you deserve. You're going to save the money you deserve. You're going to get additional value that you deserve. And it's all going to be people that respect you and want to do business with you and value your business. It's your money. How do you want to spend it? You'll hear me say that. Okay, I hope it'll catch on. I hope it'll change the way you think. It's your money. How do you want to spend it? Also, as a buyer, believe me, a lot of real estate agents will say, hey, great news. When you're out buying a home, it doesn't cost you anything. That's not true. There's money in that transaction for you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let anybody tell you there isn't. If you're a buyer, that is true. There's no money coming out of your pocket, but you do have a benefit as a buyer that you don't know about because you won't be educated about it. When you're buying, you have anywhere from 2.5% to 3% in your account, so to speak, at your disposal to use for what you wish. That's right. If you're out shopping and buying $1 million home, you, the buyer, have somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 in some cases to use at your disposal. Most of you don't know that because you're not educated in that. Most of you don't understand it. You'll be talked out of it. You'll be told all kinds of different stories. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's true in all cases, or you're going to be able to use it, or in some cases, some people are going to be able to offer that. But in many cases, when you're out looking for a home, you have the benefit of that, and you don't know it. Again, my process, my objective here is change the dynamics. I'm going to change the paradigm here of real estate transactions. I want you to call me. I'm going to take some basic information. Here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to take some basic information. We're going to make sure you get the best real estate agent for the best deal. We're going to make sure you get the best lending, the best interest rate, the best cost. We're going to make sure you get the best rates and fees on title and escrow, which no one will do. None of these people out here. Has anybody asked you, do you want to save money on title and escrow? Of course they haven't. You know why? Because they are only focused on what they want to do for themselves. What we're going to do here is we're going to provide you a turnkey program that you could save money on your entire real estate transaction. Not only the buy, the sell, you're also going to save money on the lending piece, and you're going to save money in title and escrow. The last thing I'll say, don't forget, you are going to get additional benefits that you have never seen before by doing business with us. Over and above that anybody could offer you. I'm going to suggest that you turn the tables, you the consumer, it's your money. How do you want to spend it? Give me a call. If you're thinking of selling your home or buying a home, give me a call. I will go over this with you. It'll be simple. It'll be educational. I think you'll be very excited about the opportunities you have and the benefits that no one out there is sharing with you. No one is sharing these benefits with you. We are going to package the real estate together. We are going to save you money. We're going to offer benefits you've never seen before. All right, we're out of time today. Thanks again for tuning in. If you want more information, please go to reradiolive.com. Call me 408-838-9060. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Until next time, take care.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Discover more at reradiolive.com.